What if I told you that a single piece of paper could save your business thousands, or even millions, of dollars? Imagine spending months building a product, delivering a service, or working with a client, only to discover that they refuse to pay you. Or worse, they claim you promised something you never agreed to. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly why contracts exist. The truth is, most entrepreneurs focus heavily on marketing, sales, funding, and growth. But many overlook one of the most important tools for protecting their business: a well-written contract. And here's the reality: great businesses are built on great agreements. Whether you're launching a startup, running an agency, freelancing, investing, or managing a growing company, understanding contracts is not optional, it's essential. In today's video, we'll break down what contracts are, why every entrepreneur needs them, the key elements of a legally enforceable contract, the most important contracts every business owner should have, common mistakes entrepreneurs make, and practical tips to protect yourself in business. Let's get started. Chapter 1. What is a contract? At its core, a contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties. A contract creates obligations. It clearly defines who is responsible for what each party is expected to deliver, when obligations must be fulfilled, how payments will be handled, what happens if someone fails to meet their commitments. Think of a contract as the rulebook for a business relationship. Without a contract, misunderstandings become expensive. With a contract, expectations become clear. Many people assume contracts are only for large corporations. That's not true. Whether you're signing $1 million business deal or hiring a freelance designer for your website, contracts matter. Every business relationship involves risk. Contracts help manage that risk. Chapter 2. Why contracts matter for entrepreneurs. Let's talk about why contracts are so important. 1. They create clarity. One of the biggest causes of business disputes is confusion. People remember conversations differently. They interpret promises differently. A contract removes ambiguity. Everything is documented. Everyone knows exactly what's expected. 2. They protect your business. Contracts act as a legal shield. If a client refuses to pay, a vendor fails to deliver, or a partner breaks an agreement, the contract becomes your strongest line of defense. 3. They build trust. Interestingly, contracts don't signal distrust. They create confidence. When both parties sign a clear agreement, everyone feels more secure moving forward. 4. They reduce risk. Business always involves uncertainty. Contracts identify potential problems before they happen and establish solutions in advance. 5. They save time and money. Lawsuits are expensive. Business disputes are expensive. A properly drafted contract can prevent countless problems before they ever arise. Chapter 3. The 5 essential elements of a valid contract. For a contract to be legally enforceable, certain elements generally need to exist. Element 1. Offer. One party makes a proposal. For example, I will build your company website for $10,000. That's the offer. Element 2. Acceptance. The other party agrees to the terms. Without acceptance, there is no contract. Element 3. Consideration. There must be an exchange of value. One side provides something. The other side provides something in return. Usually, that's money for products or services. Element 4. Capacity. The parties entering the agreement must have legal capacity. In simple terms, they must be legally capable of entering a contract. Element 5. Legal purpose. The agreement must involve a lawful activity. A contract for illegal activities is not enforceable. When these elements come together, a contract becomes legally binding. Chapter 4. The most important contracts every entrepreneur should have. Now let's talk about the contracts every entrepreneur should know. Founder agreement. If you're starting a company with partners, this is critical. A founder agreement should answer questions like: who owns what percentage of the company? How are decisions made? What happens if a founder leaves? How will profits be distributed? Many startups fail because founders never discuss these issues upfront. Employment agreement. When hiring employees, expectations should be documented. This agreement typically covers compensation, job responsibilities, benefits, confidentiality requirements, termination policies, independent contractor agreement. If you work with freelancers or consultants, this agreement is essential. It clarifies deliverables, deadlines, payment terms, ownership of work, non-disclosure agreement, NDA. An NDA protects confidential information. This could include business strategies, customer lists, financial information, trade secrets, product ideas. Without an NDA, sensitive information can become vulnerable. Service agreement. This is one of the most common business contracts. It defines scope of work, deliverables, timeline, payment structure, responsibilities, partnership agreement. If you're entering a business partnership, never rely solely on trust. Document everything. A partnership agreement can save friendships, business relationships, and significant amounts of money. Chapter 5. Common contract mistakes entrepreneurs make. Now let's discuss some costly mistakes. Mistake number 1. Working without a contract. This is surprisingly common. Many entrepreneurs start projects based on verbal agreements. That can lead to major problems later. Mistake number 2. Using generic templates. Downloading a random contract from the internet may seem convenient. But every business is different. A template that works for one company may expose another to serious risks. Mistake number 3. Vague language. Words like reasonable, appropriate, satisfactory can be interpreted differently. The more specific your contract is, the better. Mistake number 4. Ignoring payment terms. Payment terms should be crystal clear. Specify amount, due dates, late fees, payment methods. Never leave room for interpretation. Mistake number 5. Not defining scope. This is where many service businesses struggle. Clients continue requesting additional work because the original scope wasn't clearly defined. This problem is known as scope creep, and it can destroy profitability. Mistake number 6. Not reviewing before signing. Never rush into signing an agreement. Read every clause. Understand every obligation. Ask questions if something isn't clear. Chapter 6. A real-world business example. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine you own a software development company. A client hires you to build a mobile application. The contract simply says, develop a mobile app. Sounds straightforward, right? Not really. The client expects user login, push notifications, payment processing, analytics dashboard, customer support system. But you only planned for basic functionality. Now you're stuck doing far more work than originally anticipated. This happens every day in business. A detailed contract would have prevented the misunderstanding. The scope would have been clearly defined. Both sides would know exactly what was included. Chapter 7. Contract negotiation tips. Here are a few practical negotiation tips. Get everything in writing. If it's important, document it. Verbal agreements can be forgotten. Written agreements provide evidence. Be specific. Avoid vague language. Use measurable terms whenever possible. Plan for problems. Ask yourself, what happens if things go wrong? Address those situations before they occur. Define exit strategies. Every agreement should explain how either party can terminate the relationship. Protect intellectual property. If you're creating content, software, products, or inventions, make ownership rights crystal clear. Seek professional advice. For major agreements, consulting an attorney can be one of the smartest investments you'll ever make. Conclusion. The most successful entrepreneurs don't just know how to generate revenue. They know how to protect it. A contract isn't just paperwork. It's protection. It's clarity. It's risk management. It's professionalism. And ultimately, it's one of the most valuable tools in your business toolbox. Whether you're launching your first startup, scaling an existing company, or working with clients around the world, understanding contracts can save you from costly mistakes and help you build stronger business relationships. Remember this. A handshake may start a business relationship, but a contract protects it. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow entrepreneurs. And let me know in the comments, what's the biggest contract lesson you've learned in business? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.